What's up, Geometry? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. Today we're looking at lesson 9.0 radical review. So I'd be able to identify and evaluate perfect squares, simplifying radicals of non-perfect squares, and then be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide all radical expressions. First thing we want to talk about is what a perfect square is. I'm going to go ahead and just type this out for us just to save us some time. This is a positive whole number that is the product of an integer multiplied by itself. The reason why we say an integer multiplied by itself, because you can have like 3 times 3 can give you 9. You can also have negative 3 times negative 3 and still give you 9. And then a picture to visualize this. When you think of a perfect square, you think of, well, not that, but something similar to this, where you got a 3 by 3 side. And if you think about it, a 3 by 3 side just means there's 3 blocks across and 3 blocks going down, and 3 squared is equal to 9. So that's where that word squaring comes from. Sorry for the bell. So we're going to practice squaring some numbers. So we have 1 squared is 1, which is 1 times 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. 6 squared is 36. So we should be able to do all of these in our brain. If maybe needed, I would say for the later ones at the end, you might need to do a little work there, but for the most part, these are all good to go. So these are squaring numbers, and then to find the square root, you're just working backwards. So the square root of 16 means what times what is equal to 16, and that number is 4. The square root of 225 is 15, and the square root of 81 is 9. Keep in mind, you could have a positive or negative here, but I'm mainly concerned with, can you just find the square root? Now we're going to switch to simplifying the radical. The first thing we want to do is break the radicand into 2 squares. One being a perfect square. Once we do that, we will take the square root of the perfect square and take it out of the radicand. Then we leave the leftover factor inside the radical sign. So we're going to practice that here now. Let's say we have the square root of 8, and I'm going to think about what 2 numbers can make 8. If I multiply them together, 1 being a perfect square, I can say that 2 times 4 gives me 8, with 4 being that perfect square. And ideally, we want that perfect square to be in the front, because when we solve it, the square root of 4 is 2, and then we leave the remaining radicand underneath that sign. So my answer for the square root of 8 simplified would be 2 square root 2. So maybe take the time now and pause and try to do B through E. See if you can simplify those using a perfect square, and then come back and check in to see what you got. So square root of 20 can be made by the perfect square of 4 and the square root of 5. The square root of 4 is 2, and 5 is left under the radicand. 75 I made by doing, 75 I made by doing the square root of 25 and the square root of 3. And again, that square root of 25 is 5, so we just leave 3 underneath my radicand. The square root of 48, you can do this many different ways. The most efficient method I found, though, was taking the square root of 16 and the square root of 3. The square root of 16 is 4, and then I still have my square root 3. And then last one, 140, I use the square root of 4 and the square root of 35 multiplied together. A lot of times this might just be a guess and check, where I just take 140 and I divide it by 25, just as a perfect square, and I see what works. So when I worked my way down, I went 25, 16, 9, 4 was the next one that worked. So that would be 2 square root 35. Okay. Next up we have adding and subtracting. So let's flip the page and talk about that. Adding and subtracting, we want to be able to simplify all radicals, and we will add or subtract the front of like radicals. So this is what that means. Let's say we have letter A, and then you'll get a chance to try B through E on your own here in a second. I can technically add 6 square root 7 and 5 square root 7 because those are considered, we want to maybe think about these as like terms because they have the same radicand. So I would take 6 plus 5 is 11 and then keep the radical symbol 7. And then minus 5 square root 2, these are not like terms, and I can't simplify either one any further, so I'm going to keep it just like this. So can you take the next moment, pause the video here, and try B through E on your own? Okay, what I did here is I had to simplify the square root of 50 first. So I did the square root of 25 times the square root of 2, which is 5 square root 2. And if you notice that, I also have a 2 in front. So really I'm going to have to multiply 2 times 5, which is 10 square root 2. And then here for the square root of 32, I got the square root of 16 times the square root of 2, which is 4 square root 2. But I still had a 3 in front, so that's 3 times 4, which would be 12. So I have 12 square root 2, and now, noticing they both have the same square root in the end, I can add them together. 10 plus 12 is 22, and then keep square root 2. Okay? Here I can only subtract 5 and 3, so that's 2 square root 6, and then keep 6 square root 5 in the front. And then for letter D, I took the square root of 24, and I had to break this one up quite a lot. I did 8 times 3 first, but then those 8 times 3 could still be broken up into 4 times 2 times 3, and then the square root of 4 is 2, and then this square root 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. So bring down my 3, and I got 3 times 2, which is 6, so 6 square root 6. But then 54, I just did the square root of 9 times the square root of 6. So really, 24 I could have just done 6 times 4, and that was my fault. So this is way too much work for me. So this gives me 7 times 3 square root 6, so 21 square root 6. And then I'm adding 6 and 21 to get 27 square root 6. And then our last one, again, thinking about a wise way to do this, I did 8 taking the square root of 4 and the square root of 2. So that would be 2 square root 2, but still multiplying it by 2 in the front, so that's 4 square root 2. And then the square root of 48 I got was 16 times 3. The square root of 16 is 4, so 4 square root 3, but then multiplying by that 6 in the front, I'm going to get 24 square root 3. And that would be my simplified equation because I couldn't find a better way, or those are my 2 simplified radicals and they don't have like terms, so I really couldn't take it any further. Next up we have multiplying the radicals, so you kind of already saw that a little bit. We're going to multiply coefficients, and then we'll multiply the radicands, and then we will simplify the result. So let's go ahead and try some. 5 times 35, both in the square root symbol, meaning I can multiply them together. I get square root 175, and then I simplify it. I'm thinking I can take 25 and 7, so that would be 5 square root 7. 2 square root 8 and 3 square root 7, you multiply your coefficients, so 2 times 3 is 6, and then multiply your radicands, square root 56. And then you can break that down into perfect squares. I know 4 can go into 56 14 times. So that's 2 square root 14, but I still have my 6 to bring down. So 6 times 2 is 12 square root 14. And then for letter C, again, being careful here, multiply your 4 times negative 3. That'd be negative 12. And then 10 times 12 is 120. 120 can be broken down into a 4 and a 30. The square root of 4 is 2. Still have the square root of 30 there. And then negative 12 times 2 is negative 24 square root 30. Okay. Then last little bit here, dividing radicals. We're looking for opportunities to use, if the square root of a over b is together, then I can separate them and say the square root of a is over the square root of b. We want to be able to simplify radicands if possible, simplify the numbers outside the radical if possible, and simplify the denominator if necessary. To rationalize the denominator, we will do this a lot. Multiply both numerator and denominator by the radical in the denominator, and then simplify. That's what this is looking like. So letter A is not in simplest form because I have a radical on the bottom. So what I need to do is multiply both top and bottom by that radical. So I would get the square root of 50 on top, and then the square root of 10 times square root of 10 is 100. But then when you simplify the square root of 100, you get 10. And then the square root of 50 can be broken down into 25 and 2. So that's 5 square root 2 over 10. Noticing 5 and 10 can be reduced to 1/2. We still have that square root 2 at the top. Square root 6, square root 7, can't stay that way, so I'm going to multiply square root 7 on both top and bottom. I'm going to get square root 42 over 7, and that's going to be my final answer for that one. Letter C, multiplying square root 12 top and bottom. I'm going to get 3 square root 12 on the top and then 12 on the bottom. I can break down 12 into 4 times 3. So then I have 3 times 2 square root 3 over 12, which would be 6 square root 3 over 12. And remember, 6 and 12 can be reduced to 1 square root 3 over 12. You could even just say square root 3 over 12 because there's that imaginary 1 hanging out in the front. And then for letter D, multiplying both top and bottom by square root 5 to get rid of that denominator with the square root first. So I'm going to have 4 square root 75 over 5. And then 75, remember, can be broken down into 25 times 3 over 5, or 4 times 5 square root 3 over 5. So that's 20 square root 3 over 5. And then keeping in mind, 20 divided by 5 is 4. So now that just reduces to 4 square root 3. Okay. Last two, if you want to pause here, try these on your own, that'd be a good idea. Sorry, I kind of took over for those first 4. So let's see how you do on your own. Click play when you're ready to check. All right, square root 7, multiplying both top and bottom, so I get 2 square root 7 over 7. Nothing else can be reduced, so we're good to go there. And then for letter F, multiplying by square root 3 on top and bottom, I get square root 6 over 4 times 3. So that'd be square root 6 over 12. And there we have it. That'll conclude our big review on radicals and simplifying them. Hopefully this gives you a good start to chapter 9, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great day.